Hey everyone, I wanted to pass on a little thing that I discovered today. Not really discovered, but I don't know. I always have a struggle with some of these works on paper. And here's an example. Before I start, I'll tape off the edges just because I like to see, I don't know, it's satisfying to have just a nice edge to your art. It kind of has like a I've finished it feeling when you can pull off the tape. Normally you would purchase a mat and that would kind of define the edges for you if you didn't already do it yourself. And of course you can go to the edge of the paper and stuff, but for some reason it's just not, I just don't like it. And I like a nice defined border edge, a white between the edge of whatever you're looking at, the wall, the frame, or whatever. I like that border between the outside world and the actual piece of art. I normally do that with tape, but today I had I know where it was. I was looking on Blick.com where I buy a lot of my supplies and things, and they have like cheap, they're basic mats that maybe kids would use in an art show, or just to define an edge on something. It's not for fine art or anything like that. And I looked at them, and a lot of people were saying these are just paper and it's kind of garbage, if you really want to mat something. So I just thought, you know what, if it's just paper and they're selling them for, I think it was like, boy, I want to say like a 12 by 16 art size. Obviously the mat was a little bit bigger, but it was probably $65, $70 for 50 of them, which isn't, that's not exactly expensive, but it's also not cheap either, if the quality of it is just generic paper. So I thought, well, if they're doing that, then I could just use paper. And I have heavyweight, affordable watercolor paper that I paint on. And so I thought, well, why don't I do that? So what I'm thinking, and what seemed to work out well, is that I will do the painting like this. I'm not going to worry about the edges. And I have some that I'm working on right now where I just paint straight to the edge of the paper, and I just really don't care. But those edges then become defined. You can cut the exact same paper to whatever mat width you want. I'm doing mine it's a little over an inch here, but if you use the same paper, then it's going to fit to your basic paper perfectly, and it's going to give you that nice, sorry, this is a messy one, but it'll give you that nice clean edge here when you put it into a frame. And this isn't probably the way you're gonna end up finishing the finished piece, but I guess you could. I end up putting a lot of these things just in frames, existing frames around my house, just because I like switching things up, and I like seeing the work that I've done and looking at it and making sure that it's actually good or not. So I do that a lot, but this is a great way to put a nice cheap mat around a piece of yours, even if it's just to define where the edges are on the final piece. And for me, I just like to be able to consider these pieces done, and sometimes taking 5-10 minutes to put it in some sort of final state, whether it's a cheap mat or whatever. It defines the border. You consider the piece done, and it just kind of makes you feel a little bit of a sense of accomplishment. So I thought I'd share this. I'll take you over here real quick and show you another one. This is another one I did where the painting went to the edges. Sorry for the glare, but was nice to just throw this cheap border on it so it kind of defines the edges of it. And I just consider this done at this point. It's been signed, it's ready to be sold, and I'm happy with it. So hopefully, I don't know if this is something that you guys are going to use or not, but it makes me happy, and it helps me consider when I want to take a piece from, you know, the maybe pile of finished and something that I'm really happy with, to officially taking the time and saying, you know, this is kind of done, you know, and it works for me.